Keep spawning culture. Hey y'all, it's Andrew Ree with Mossy Creek Mushrooms. It's been a while on the video front, at least. It's been a couple weeks on the MushRune Cast as well. Had to skip a couple episodes of the MushRune Cast because I had a rapid onset infection that put me in the hospital overnight, and then I've been on antibiotics and a bunch of other stuff that has just made me feel terrible, and then I've been teaching mentorships back to back while dealing with that infection. So, anyways, I'm back. And despite that little setback, we have had, I had my long COVID bout back last year that had me on oxygen for a while. I'm feeling much better now. So I'm actually going to go back a lot more to the video format. The MushRune Cast is coming back. It's coming back, and it'll be a little bit more haphazard, shorter episodes, and we'll be doing, it'll be doing them more often. I'll probably be able to get them done twice a week or so. We'll have to feel it out to see how it goes, because I still want to do a video once a week. And I've still got to teach mentorships and the classes, and we're starting an online class that should be hopefully released in the next day or two for sign-ups that we'll be teaching in May, which will be a lab basics class. Kind of a master class over Zoom. I'm really excited about that because I'll be able to do it a lot cheaper than the mentorships, and I'll be able to teach people, and they won't even have to leave. I'll be able to do it on the weekend, that kind of thing. We're still going to do interviews, but my live streams probably won't be doing interviews anymore. I'll be releasing those in a video style. So as I come up and I do interviews with the next few people, hopefully Dr. Gordon Walker, since I had to skip that episode because I was literally going to the hospital that night, or the night before, I mean. Hopefully I'll have him on. We'll be able to do a good episode, and then I'll be able to just release that in a video format as well. So I'm hoping to have those on top of my weekly videos, going back to teach you guys a lot about what I've learned the past couple of years. So my agar videos, my liquid culture videos, I do things differently now. Even my substrate stuff. I want to do a good episode on teaching you guys how I formulate substrates now. And, we do a lot. Look at that one bag. That just is not going to grow in, is it? Sometimes they do that. Anyways, as I silence my phone, we've got a lot of really cool things that we're going to be doing over the next little bit, and I've got a lot of videos planned, including some bioprospecting episodes, which have been requested by a few people. And we'll have, I don't even know, like a lot of different videos. But one of them I'm wanting to do is on plant tissue culture. I've actually been, while I was down and on oxygen and couldn't do much, and Samantha had to handle everything, I really just dove in and learned a lot of different things. I mean, I learned a lot about mycorrhizal mushrooms. I learned a lot about mycorrhizal fungi in general. Plant tissue culture, which is basically doing what we do in the lab with mushrooms, but with plants. Learning multiplication media, how callus induction, all of this kind of stuff. So it's really cool. I'm hoping to bring some of those videos in later in the year and show you guys what I'm working on. Right now I'm working on tomatoes paired with wine caps in the lab. And then eventually I want to do low-tech methods for that, because really low-tech is the way I want to do things. So the lab is just the initial process to learn all of that. Now, beyond going with that, I will just mention really quick that I've paired up with Plant Cell Technology. You can use code MOSSY, all caps MOSSY, and you can get 10% off your orders with them if you're interested in following me along in this plant journey, plant fungal partnership. And you can get plant media and your agars and things like that there. So 10% off of that kind of stuff. However, I also want to talk about the way we're doing liquid culture now. So number one, I've changed my recipe some, though not a ton, but I've had a couple of additions, and I'm going to do some videos on that as well. And I've got to talk about the Man of War stir plates. Like, these things are killer. I don't make anything off these, at least not yet. I'm hoping to sell them on the website soon. And I'm hoping to even have a Mossy Creek Mushrooms version to offer you guys. And with an exclusive color. Ben said I could do that. So the cool thing is, that these plates, I mean, I think I don't remember how much they're selling them for, $100, $120, something like that. You can get a 2-plate model for a lot cheaper per plate. And these things rock. I mean, they whip the mycelium. I'm getting aeration results without having the aeration headache or the genetic drift. I mean, I've been playing with these plates for a long time now, and I'm getting thick, dense mycelium, and I'm using a peristaltic pump to dose into blocks, the bulk blocks. We're going liquid culture to bulk. So I've had a lot of updates on that that'll be coming out as soon. Again, this is just an update video to kind of give you a general idea of where we're going. And so these plates are just phenomenal. So you can go to mushroomediaonline.com right now to pick them up from Man of War. That's who they're distributing. We're going to be selling them, and there's going to be a couple other companies, I think, selling them as well. If you guys hear any talking or machinery going on in the background, that's the mentorship working with Samantha in the grow room right now. I was basically in the way. It's hard to fit 4 people in the grow room, so this is my chance to make the video now. But we have, again, these Man of War plates are just, they are... yes, more expensive than the $30, $40 plates you get on Amazon, but I can't tell you how many of those things I've burned through. And these things from Man of War, I'm not burning through them. I'm running them way heavier than I ever did the IntelliLab and all those cheapies. And then I've bought $500, $600 stir plates before that are like lab quality grade or whatever that never did as well as these. I've been able to take a 5-gallon carboy and pull a vortex all the way down to the bottom. My 5-liter, 10-liter media bottles just stir just fine. In fact, I got some video for that I'm probably playing over this while I talk. But the liquid, but my between the new liquid culture recipe, the Man of War stir plates, and then we move into media bottles primarily, which I learned from a guy that came and worked for me for a while. Like I like that a lot better than the jars. So I'm slowly moving and processing all the jars out of the way and moving more and more to the media bottle bioreactors, which I think I'm going to start selling for you guys as well, just for the people who don't want to have to make them themselves. Another update, Spawn is coming back. It's absolutely right. You guys have been calling me. Everyone has been so disappointed that I got out of the Spawn game. But I really wanted to figure out how to do it right. Most of my bad reviews came from Spawn, most of my refunds came from Spawn, most of my replacements came from Spawn, and so I wanted to sit down and really study it out. So while I've been down, I've really got it figured out. I've got the groove grease, we've got shipping figured out, we've got how to ship in hot weather figured out, we've got how to mass produce the Spawn affordably figured out. Now, granted, I'm not going to be no longer doing custom orders where you order and then it's going to ship out 6 weeks later. No, I'm making the Spawn in advance. Only our best strains are going into Spawn. I'm not letting people pull me off in 20 different directions. I'll make what I make. It'll go on the Spawn page. It'll be for sale until it runs out. And when it runs out, I'll try to have it replaced before then or as that then. But it's going to be seasonal mixes, so when warm weather comes, I'm only going to be doing warm weather strains in Spawn. When cold weather comes, I'm only going to be doing cold weather strains in Spawn. Unless you're doing subscription Spawn. If you order from, like if you call me up and you want to put in your subscription orders, number one, I give a discount on those. So you call me up, I send you a PayPal invoice, I set up a recurring invoice, we make Spawn, we ship it out to you every week. It takes just a couple of weeks typically to set that up and get that going. If you order some, like I won't let you guys order slow stuff anymore, I'm sorry, but it's just, I don't like it people ordering that stuff and then having to wait 6 weeks. It just leaves too much on us, and it leaves too much potentiality for you guys to not get what you want when you want it, when you need it. So instead, we're going to be going through some of the best strains that the Mycelium is pulling in. By the way, that's today's sponsor. Imagine a world where the most unique, rare, and powerful mushroom strains are preserved, studied, and shared with growers like you. That's exactly what we're building with the Mycelium, a living archive of fungal biodiversity, sourced from the wild, expanded in the lab, and made available for researchers, growers, and curious minds alike. But here's the best part. You can be a part of it. If you're a bioprospector, a forager, or just someone who loves finding cool mushrooms in the wild, you can send in your samples. If you send me in a wild mushroom and I can successfully clone it, I'll send you back a cleaned up culture of it. If you send me a culture that you've already cleaned up yourself, I'll send you one for our library, ready to grow, experiment with, or add to your collection. That's right. Culture for culture. You help expand the library, and you get something amazing in return. The goal? To preserve fungal diversity, to give people access to new genetics, and maybe, just maybe, to discover something truly groundbreaking. So if you've got an interesting mushroom, a rare find, or a strain that deserves a place in the archives, send it in. Let's build something incredible together. The mycelium, preserving fungal biodiversity, one culture at a time. Want to learn more? Hit us up, shoot us a message, and let's keep spawning culture, y'all. And then we're going to be running those strains. So like Albrook Grove #1, RDTN2, which is our reishi strain, which goes from inoculation to harvest in 45 days without ever opening the bag. Golly, so the Appalachian Enoki, which is on our website, but we'll have that in spawn plenty for people. And then we've got some cool warm weather stuff coming up that we're working with a guy named Jake Howard, who runs the Mushroom Shop LLC, and he just brought by a lot of stuff we're going to be selling the Jake Howard collection for him. And then, of course, he's going to get a lease payment for everything we sell. So what do they call it? Royalty, basically. So spawn is coming back. I'm hoping that'll make you guys happy. As far as we're doing a lot of outdoor stuff this year. We're going to be again with the plants. We're moving to a lot of things. So we love what we've been seeing in the outdoor beds. We're doing a lot of spent substrate to compost. I'm getting some of the richest, darkest, loamiest, fluffiest earth I've ever seen. The soil is just amazing. And I have several different ways that I've been trialing composting. I have a worm tower, and I have worms in every bin. I've even put blocks in our aquaponics system. And that's been incredible. Worms are loving it. Mint is loving it. You're gonna you'll see the video. I'm sure I'm playing it already over on top. And the plants are loving it. And the mycelium is acting like a filter while it's going in there. So, and then as it rots down, which it rots down much quicker, with all that aerated liquid water running through it, and the plants pulling at it, and the worms pulling at it, it actually continued to fruit mushrooms. At least the oysters did the first little bit that we put it in. But that can be pulled out, block replaced, and all that stuff is just rich as well. And then on top of that, we're going to be putting in our big water reservoir under those plant trays. We'll be doing tilapia fingerlings this year. I've done catfish. I've done rice fish. I've done guppies. I've done goldfish. I've done koi. This year I'm doing tilapia. What I want to do is throw a bunch of tilapia fingerlings in there, let them grow and grow and grow, and then in the fall we'll pull those out. So it's basically an aquaponics setup. But except we're doing pretty much all aquatic plants, including like bloody dock and watercress and things like that. So, and this nutrients that we're getting from the mushroom blocks are just completely making that stuff go crazy. Another thing that we're doing, the spent blocks, I don't have any video of this yet, but I built one last year, is an automated self-harvesting black soldier fly larva bin. And I'm going to be doing a bunch of these large bins, maybe even like a large bed. And then basically you just screw a jar in and they crawl in and go into it. You throw your spent blocks in, put some cardboard in the top. The flies can fly in, they lay their eggs, the eggs hatch, and then the larvae drop down, and then they go through your substrate, and they go through it fast in the warm months. Wintertime, red wrigglers are the way to go. But summertime, going with the black soldier fly larvae. We're going to experiment growing cordyceps on them. We're going to use them for some of the fish food, and we can produce a massive amount through these blocks. And then that gives us frass. It's called frass. When insects go through, they eat it all up. And they produce this fluffy waste material that ends up just being absolutely amazing for plants and potting plants and stuff into. And the black soldier fly larva will be food for the tilapia, and then we trade it to a family that's close by that has a backyard flock for their eggs. We started the charcoal kiln back up in the spring now. That I'm spending a lot more time outside, so we're able to go outside, set up the fire pit. I put my little kiln. I've got a big kiln and a small kiln. I run the small kiln a lot more. And we basically just take, I can take out a bunch of the old pepper stalks. I take sometimes just cut wood chips. Sometimes we take spent mushroom blocks and crumble them up, lay them in the sun until they dry. And then whenever I've got that material, that goes in the kiln and makes a really, really porous, amazing charcoal. And we use that char to make biochar, but also we use that charcoal in the bottom of our plant buckets and plant bins and mix it into the soil and stuff. And it just makes... we've only just started recently doing that, so all the black soil you see in the videos is just straight rot from the mushroom compost. But now we should be getting a lot more of this with the charcoal. Our soil should be a lot blacker, a lot faster, just because of that coal. But it gives it a home for fungus, which produces globulin. We can talk about that in another video, but it's essential for soil health. So it's really cool. And then tomato plants. We're growing tomato plants, in part in tissue culture, just so I can practice. But I've got such a good access in the front here, outside, and we're about to increase our warehouse space a little bit more again. So we're going to be doing tomato plants paired with wine cap, which is what exactly I'm doing with the plant tissue culture, right? And my plan is I grow peppers. I don't tend to grow tomatoes anymore. So I do peppers and flowers and then aquatic edibles like duck potatoes and irises and irises are just flowers, but water chestnuts, etc., etc. I do a lot of that stuff, but the tomatoes I'm going to grow because I've just got such great road frontage. I've got such great parking lot space. A busy intersection, so I can get signage to have people come in. So on the weekends in the spring, sometime around late April to May, we'll be selling probably a few thousand tomato plants. So pretty excited about that. But the really exciting part is pairing it up with wine cap mycelium that we've been growing out in the lab and making spawn of. I need to make spawn of that for sale. But the idea is that a little chunk goes in with each tomato seedling, and then when people take that home and they grow it, and they transplant it, they've now created an inoculation point in their garden for wine cap. Pardon me, the long COVID, especially when I've been talking for a while, it kind of comes back, and I've been talking for almost 15 minutes now. So that said, the tomato plants are a really exciting addition to what we're going to be doing. I guess there's not really a whole lot more going on. I guess I'll end this with another sponsorship. Since I already had the Mycelium sponsorship, we'll play one more just for the House of Hydro guys, right? But before we go, I just want to thank you guys for all of the help, the offers of well wishes, the get better soons, the people who just ordered. I mean, that was the biggest way to help me, was you guys just kept ordering liquid culture, and Samantha and I could at least do that, right? I could sit down on a machine in oxygen, produce liquid culture, and sell it. And so I'm just so thankful for you guys helping us out with that, because that was the biggest thing, is just keeping funds rolling in while I was sick. And liquid culture was something that we could absolutely do. So you guys killed me with the level of your generosity and the amount of support that you guys sent our way. All the Cordyceps packages I received from a bunch of different farms blew me away. I use Cordyceps daily now because it has been really helping me in my recovery. I don't feel like I have to work as hard to breathe whenever I take that Cordyceps, and I notice a difference when I don't take it. So you guys have been really killing it. Yeah, with that, y'all, keep spawning culture. Hey folks, welcome to another sponsorship for the MushRune Cast. We're always talking about dialing in your grow setup, and when it comes to humidity, there's one name we trust, House of Hydro. These foggers are an absolute game changer for mushroom cultivation. House of Hydro's ultrasonic humidifiers put out an incredibly fine, cool mist. So fine, in fact, that mycelium can actually uptake it straight from the air. That means better hydration, better growth, happier mushrooms, and better yields. And let me tell you, these things are way easier to vent around your op than setting up full-on plumbing pressure systems. No pipes, no hassle, just perfect humidity right where you need it. And when you're working with the best, you want the best support. John at House of Hydro takes care of his customers better than anyone in the game. If you ever need help, they've got you covered. And because House of Hydro is sponsoring the MushRune Cast, we've got a deal for you. Use code Mossy at checkout and you'll get a full set worth of free replacement discs with your order. It's up to a $50 value. Get yourself a House of Hydro fogger. Your mushrooms will thank you. Keep spawning culture, y'all.